Previously on Scorpion 72. Hey, my little TCL, Scorpion 72 here. We're looking at Arrow from DC Collectibles. This Season 3 Arrow comes in window box packaging, as you can see, with extra hands, 3 arrows, a bow, there's a side, there it is saying figure number 10 with Season 3, and the back showing you all the figures in this series. So without further ado, let's take a look.
Alright, my little TCLs, and here we have Arrow. So, this is quite interesting here. This is Season 3 Arrow, based on the likeness of Stephen Amell. He took a while to get here. This is another one of those figures that was supposed to be out since the beginning of the year, roughly about February. So the story, long story short, DC Collectibles has been going around different factories trying to improve the plastic, see what works, improve the figures and stuff, make them more long lasting, whatever the case may be. That's what the delay is for this year. It's going to continue pretty much to the end of the year, and it says it should be on track, back on track starting next year, which would be really cool because there's a backlog of stuff that's supposed to come out. Some has already been canceled, some is already still on its way, and it's just going to accumulate. So if you're like me that pre-ordered a lot of DC Collectible stuff, you better get your wallet ready because that avalanche is about to hit. I think mainly starting by the end of September, October, all that stuff is just going to be flowing out like crazy. So here we have Stephen Amell here, Oliver Queen, Arrow, Season 3. So Season 3 is the season where they introduced Ra's al Ghul, and that was not my favorite season. Right up, straight honest. Its storyline was a little longer. They could have wrapped it up halfway through. This figure also comes down to that. Nice figure, nice likeness, very much more smoother than the other figure, which I'll do a comparison of. I like new costumes, so let's just go through the articulation here and I'll get to what I'm mainly talking about. So you see, this is kind of like a rigid plastic. It's hood, so it can be pulled back, but it's really rigid, so it's hard to do. And that being said, his head's on a ball joint, so you can kind of turn his head about here and there. I'm just going to go outwards, forwards. They're a little bit more loose, more smooth, so you can do like all kinds of things. Elbow, single joint and swivel. Same thing for his wrist, and it has a wrist hinge. In the hand, upper torso here can be turned. There's a strap here for his quiver, which is pliable plastic, so it doesn't hinder the twisting of his body at all, as you can see in the back here. Details really nice on this character. The other thing that I'm getting to, since I haven't turned this way, which I'm going to focus on a little bit more of a still pictures, is his quiver. Moving along, he does not have a waist articulation. It doesn't seem, no. Even though it looks like there's a cut there for that, it looks like they stopped it there for the sculpting. Legs can go out somewhat. This one can go out more than the other one. I'm not going to force it. And forward, there's a problem with it going forward for some reason. The more forward that you get, the more wider his legs get. So it's not even a straight type of like straight kick, or even you can get in a sitting pose. Double jointed knees. And he has no boot cut, which would have been a nice place to put articulation there. He has ankle hinge and ankle swivel. No thigh cuts either. So, long story short, you can't really twist his legs or anything to get him in any of those really cool or different type of poses you may want to, because there's no thigh swivel and there's no boot cut to do that.
So here we have them counting backwards, 3, 2, 1 in seasons. You can see the difference in them. The first 2 season ones are not that much different other than the head sculpt, the mask. The third one, you can see he's really skinnier and really smaller. And now I figure out what it is about the face sculpt. It really looks skinnier than all the others. It really slimmed down. I don't think Stephen Amell's face slimmed down that much. It reminds me of the cartoon that he was in with Vixen.
He comes with 4 different hands. I've switched one of them already, so he comes with kind of like 2 open hands here. One's a gripping hand and one's like a hand for like pulling back his bowstring. He has 2 closed fist hands, And he has another 2 open hands, and of course this one's another hand, which is kind of like this for pulling back his bowstring. So the sculpting, everything's amazing on this. The color is just basically green. You got some highlights green, some shading of green and stuff here. His bow is the contract bow here, and it seems updated. It would be nicer if you can fold and stuff. The difference with this bow, I believe, which what you do a comparison with the other green arrows from the TV show, is that there's a little clip right here to clip in the arrows, so you can clip them in and you always have them here and you don't have to worry about them accidentally flinging out. The construction of the string is a little weird because mine is going inwards like this, so I'm guessing that's the way it's supposed to be.
I really do like the paint apps on this arrow's bow here, as you can see, with all the blacks and greens. And now I realize another thing too is that this is a lot smaller from season 1 and season 2 of Arrow. Everything is pretty much the same, just shrunk it down a bit in size, except for now there's a clip to actually hold the arrow.
Now, here comes the part. He comes with arrows, not just one. He comes with 3 arrows, which is different compared to like Malcolm Merlin and stuff. The thing is, this arrow here, which is like an explosive arrow, is kind of like the only arrow that you can't fit in the quiver with the rest of the arrow, and it's the only arrow that you can fit in the quiver if you don't put the other 2 arrows, because they don't fit. There's not enough room. I think I even maybe bent this one, which is don't want to. This is a regular arrow he comes with, and here's another one of those homing tracking arrows. Forgot which one to use because it has a point here, but then it has like a big base there and stuff. So this might be the explosive or gas arrow, or this might be like a flare arrow. So with these ones being bulky at the bottom, and this being one of the smallest quivers that they could have possibly give him, meaning like he's basically just running around with like 2 arrows. Once you even the first arrow I just showed you cannot fit in unless you push it in, and by doing that, which I'm not going to, I don't want to break the arrow. I have this piece stuck in the quiver. This one is not so bad, it fits in nicely, and then of course with this having no piece at the bottom of the arrow allows you to fit this in too along with it. But you have to like kind of fit the one with no attachment on first, and then you can fit the other one with the attachment. Or was it the other way? No, it's the other way around.
I really do like the fact that we get 3 arrows and they're not just plain arrows, but as I mentioned just now, you can see these are kind of bulky at the end, and when you compare it to the previous green arrow or the arrow figures, the quiver is just too small to hold them.
So if you have the other green arrow figures, basically you can give these arrows to that figure or wait until later on. I believe in 2 months time, the 2-pack with season 4 Green Arrow and the Flash is coming out. Maybe you can be able to use that to fit in there if the quiver is bigger. If it's not, then there's a problem there. So that's one of my main gripes, is that I like that he came with a lot of arrows, but he cannot fit all the arrows in here if you wanted to. And the other thing too, I tried putting the arrow before inside the bow. I'm not going to do it this time around because it proved to be really kind of difficult, and it's a good chance that you could end up snapping the bow. I mean not the bow, I mean the arrow. So it's something I would not recommend. I'll leave it up to you if you wish to do that, but it's not something that I would recommend, just for the sake of not having to break your figure. But you can give him a nice kind of like posing like he's shooting his arrow pose here, which is really cool compared to like Red Arrow, which couldn't even do that, which still baffles me to today. Why did it not give him the extra articulation to do this type of pose?
I'm sure not in a million years Oliver Queen would ever thought that by dating 2 sisters, or in fact he dated 2 sisters in the past, he would have them dressed in black leather, fighting by his side in the future as he became a vigilante. That lucky Oliver Queen, you naughty guy. Anyways, overall it's nice to get this figure. It does change it up a bit because we don't get the same buck of the other Arrow figures, and it really does change up the Team Arrow team here, but I'm really looking forward to season 4 Arrow, where he has a little bit more armor and has a little bit more pizzazz and finesse to his costume.
So Green Arrow here, season 3 finally arrived and came out about 2 weeks ago or so. Should be available online retailers, comic book shops, local comic book shops, or wherever you get your action figures. If you're a fan of the TV show, then you're probably already buying this figure. If not, then maybe something you want to add to your collection. Seeing how season 3 Arrow just came out, and season 4 Arrow is really close by maybe 2 months, it might be something you might want to skip and just go straight and get the 2-pack where you have season 4 Arrow. But if you're a completist like me, you probably want to pick this guy up just to make sure you have all the transitions and all the seasons of the Green Arrow. So it's Scorpion 72 telling you to enjoy your toys. Until next time, keep playing. Ciao.
1, 2, 3, 4. I like videos. You like videos. I love